Hey there, NASCAR fans. Have you got your copy of the latest edition of NASCAR Pole Position Print Magazine? If not, there's no better time than now to subscribe at polepositionmag.com. NASCAR Pole Position is the only print magazine covering NASCAR. Officially licensed by NASCAR, NASCAR Pole Position Magazine is published throughout the NASCAR season, and each edition is an instant collector's item, packed with great feature stories and photography. The magazine is even mailed to you in a poly bag for those who love to collect NASCAR memorabilia. At polepositionmag.com, you can even find past issues available to purchase. Get your subscription to NASCAR Pole Position and get great NASCAR content delivered straight to your mailbox throughout the season. Learn more at polepositionmag.com. That's polepositionmag.com.
Hey y'all, Rick Houston here, and I want to tell you about my new show, the Moonshine and Motorsports Racing Podcast. I've partnered up with the state of North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources to help uncover the history behind moonshining mountain boys, professional wheelmen, and the backwoods and city lights of the Tar Heel State. In the first episode, I sat down with Winston Kelly at the NASCAR Hall of Fame for a little behind-the-scenes gossip about Junior Johnson's engineering skills.
He's got two things in his hand, pipe wrench and channel lock pliers. And they weren't new. They had been around the block a time or two.
Wasn't the first steel they built, I bet.
No. I think the pliers had been red before, but paint had worn off.
And in the second episode, I talked to a professional hillbilly, a.k.a. Dr. Daniel Pierce of UNC Asheville, to find out the real history of moonshiners and their battles with the revenuers.
He wrote about one of his experience of trying to chase down this bootlegger in this souped-up car, and he complained that the government gave him these piece of crap, cheapo cars, and that were really no match, but he thought he was doing pretty good, and then the guy just hits it and just takes off and practically disappear. But then the guy makes a bootleg turn and comes back towards him. And as he said, it was a game of chicken, and I was a chicken. And so he ran off the road. And actually, he was the guy who caught Junior Johnson at his daddy's steel when Junior got tangled up in a barbed wire fence.
So check out the Moonshine and Motorsports Racing Podcast, available on YouTube, dailydownforce.com, and all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And be sure to check out my regular show on NASCAR history, the Scene Vault Podcast.
Aric Estep here. One of my favorite parts of being a NASCAR fan is collecting diecasts. It's how I got my start on YouTube, actually. To me, a room is not complete until it features shelves of NASCAR diecast cars. It's as good a time as ever to continue your collection or begin an all-new one by pre-ordering your favorite driver's 2022 next-gen diecast at lionelracing.com or at any authorized Lionel retailer. Lionel is the official diecast of NASCAR, and don't miss Lionel Racing's NASCAR Authentics diecasts at a Walmart or Target near you. Not only is Lionel the official diecast of NASCAR, but they're also official supporters of the Out of the Groove podcast network. So what are you waiting for? Head to lionelracing.com to order your favorite driver's 2022 diecast.
Welcome to Maiden Level Cross, presented by Pristine Auction. I'm Thad Moffitt.
And I'm Rowland George.
All right, Thad, what's up, man?
What's going on, Rowland?
Not much, dude. You had a big weekend this past weekend, right?
Yeah, so we got to announce finally that I'll be running full-time in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with Faction 46. Owner Lane Moore and crew chief Doug George. Super excited about the opportunity. We have some great partners joining us for the season, so excited to get to Daytona and see what we can do in the 2024 season.
Yeah, it was a great day. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, I got to meet Doug George dropping off your truck. No relation to me. I talked to Doug about that. Maybe there's a family member somewhere down the road that might have interbred somewhere. But Awesome guy. Nice guys. Got to meet Cody Efall. Super, super cool guy. I met his wife and kids, so we're going to be working close with those guys next year. But so take us back to, let's say, what was it? Thursday, the truck got delivered here. You weren't at the garage at the time. I got delivery of it. I was super excited. And then you did end up coming, I think like an hour later. Your first reaction to the truck in person. Well, actually, let me go back. You actually did see the truck at the shop.
Yeah, so I saw it at Nice before it came here. And pretty surreal to see like everything that we have worked on for the past 3 or 4 months come to fruition, if you will. Like, I mean, the truck was there, the stickers were there, the people were there, Lane was there. Mm-hmm. Doug obviously helped a lot with the announcement. He was here, he spoke, he delivered the car, got to meet my new car chief, and so all of that was like really surreal. Like, it started hitting me like, this isn't just an idea anymore. This is gonna happen.
Actually happening. Yeah. So I think one of the coolest things that we got some photos of, but to be there in person was totally different and really cool. So you were there, your mom was there, and Grandpa came out and took a look at the truck. What was going through your mind when your grandpa was sitting right there? I took a picture of him squeezing your shoulder. He looked super proud of you, but what was going through your mind at that moment in time when your grandpa, 7-time NASCAR champ, is standing next to his grandson in his brand new truck? What's going through your mind at that point?
I mean, it's a surreal moment for sure, but at the end of the day, like I always say, my same answer is like, he's just Grandpa.
Yep.
So it was like me showing Grandpa my new opportunity. Like, he got to see it himself. He was excited. Obviously, I'm through the roof excited, and he just made some comments that it's kind of on me to carry this the next 75 years. Finally getting my foot in the door full-time in NASCAR. So now it's time for me to capitalize on this opportunity and continue to grow the Petty legacy within NASCAR for years to come.
You know what's neat about next year? I think we've said it in a previous episode. You know, the stars really align for you and the family. I mean, it's the 75th anniversary of the Petty family racing tradition. So for you to kick off your rookie season next year in conjunction with the anniversary, I mean, how cool is that? I think that's just absolutely amazing. And like you said, they've been around a year shyer than NASCAR has. So, I mean, you guys have been around it since close to day one.
Yeah, so for me just to be a small part of the 75 years of Petty, and like I said, like for them to be 75 years old in a sport that's only 76 is pretty incredible. And for me just to be a tiny part of that is a huge blessing and opportunity for me, and it's something that I definitely don't take lightly. Of course, there's tremendous pressure that comes with that, but kind of everywhere I've unloaded since I started racing, I've been under that pressure umbrella. So it's something I've become really used to over the years, and look forward to getting to work with Doug George next year in Nice Motorsports and in our Silverado and taking it to the front.
Speaking of pressure, leading up to the announcement, you know, I'm tracking the media, tracking socials, because you had a pretty killer lead up. You know, you dropped some Easter eggs, as we like to say around here. You know, Monday on Instagram, you just dropped that TM, your logo with the signing date, little pen, and then you're dropping the consecutive 42, 43, 44, 45, and I had a ball looking at what people thought you were going to do. Obviously, they knew you were up
They
to
knew
something.
I was going Xfinity racing in the 42 car full time.
Under Petty Enterprises was being reborn under, I guess, your grandpa's guidance with TRD for some reason. That was a leading theory, and people were hell-bent on that up until Friday night, the day before you made the big unveil. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And, you know, going back to pressure, I've been calling you Ed because apparently you're the American Ed Sheeran. People don't know who Ed Sheeran is. You got to get out of the rock you're living under. It's golden voice of our generation. But so, you know, you're being compared to pop stars. How does that feel?
I never expected to be the American Ed Sheeran. That's something brand new for me. I'd never heard that one before, but when you showed me that, what was it, on Reddit or something?
Reddit,
yeah, somebody on Reddit said, I'll cheer for Petty Enterprise even if the American Ed Sheeran is the driver.
You got to love it.
Gotta love it, man. Yep. So being compared to Ed, I guess, isn't too bad of a thing.
Do you listen to any Ed Sheeran?
I don't like now, but I did a lot when I was in like middle school and high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to listen to more now that you're compared to?
I
the great
would.
ones?
I would like to compare myself to Zach Bryan. He's my favorite artist.
I've heard that. I at one point I thought you said Zach Brown, but Zach Bryan, and I've listened to him. He's pretty good. But well, listen, if Ed does happen to listen to this podcast, which is a cry in the dark, there's no way he's listening to this. But if he is, you got to come out to one of the races. We'll treat you like an all-star. Okay, so Friday night, the day before the big unveil, you got sponsors coming in the morning. Saturday morning comes along. You and Lauren are heading here. What's going through your head? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you apprehensive at all? Like what's Dad thinking while he's driving a level cross for this big deal?
I mean, it's a lot of emotions running through the body and a lot of thoughts running through the head. I wouldn't say that I was like necessarily nervous, more just excited to get it out there and hoping that I didn't say or do the wrong thing during the announcement. Because I mean, not just me, but there's been so many people that have worked so hard for me to get this opportunity and to get me to this point. And the last thing I want to do is let anybody down. And so for me, it was like I was reading my paper, making sure I kind of had my talking points, just trying to get everything lined up, like visioning how I wanted it to go. And I mean, you can do that as many times as you want. When I got up there, I didn't even think I said one thing from the paper. I kind of just winged it, and it turned out fine. And I think that the opportunity for me to get that out there and take that breath of fresh air is like a big relief of stress for me, because people have been asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? And kind of like making sure that I'm cognizant of not posting faction stuff and not saying that I'm going full-time truck racing to the wrong people until we release the news ourselves. So for me to get that out there, and for 2 or 3 hours my world was crazy. It was like it didn't even have time to drink anything, didn't have time to go to the bathroom. Like it was just kind of wide open. And later that night it calmed down, and it was cool to like sit back and be like, man, that's out there now. Like everywhere I go, they know I'm the driver for Faction 46 next year.
Well, it was truly special. A lot of people came out to support you. So big thanks to everyone there. Sponsors, Customers Bank, can't thank them enough. Induction Innovations was out there. You had the fan club out there. So a big shout out to those guys. I mean, they've been super cool on social media. So, shout out to Jim Boyle and everyone in the Thad Moffitt Club and all your grandpa's fans. They're coming on board to support you. So very, very neat experience for sure. So, that was the news. I think we were the leading story going into this week, which leads to just the melee of NASCAR news that happened this week. A lot of crazy stuff. So talking trucks, let's talk about the fellow competition you got going to 24. So Lane Riggs going to Front Row Motorsports next year in the 38. Do you know Lane at all?
I don't really know him personally, but I did race against him in some late model stuff, like coming up through the ranks. And Lane was always a really talented race car driver. I think that he had always had a lot of speed, and he did a good job for sure. So I look forward to racing him. I saw that his deal was a multi-year deal, so good for him. Congrats, Lane. I mean, to sign something like that with a team like Front Row is a huge opportunity, and I'm sure he'll do well next year. I mean, Front Row is definitely not a slouch in the Truck Series, and they're proving this year that they're not a slouch in the Cup Series either, with Michael McDowell winning and being a contender several races. So for him to get that opportunity, I think our competition in trucks is going to be stiff, man. I mean, I was asking the other day, like, who's truck racing next year? Because even when we made our announcement, like, there wasn't a whole lot out there. Still up in the air. Who's driving that Spire KBM deal? I mean, does anybody actually know? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of open rides and Xfinity and trucks that have yet to be answered at the time of this recording. But so yeah, big congrats to Lane. That's Scott Riggs' boys. So good luck to him and his endeavors in the 38 truck. And then your boy Grant Effinger is going to CR7 Motorsports.
Yeah. I like Grant, man. Grant has like a pet pig. It's pretty cool. Grant's a cool dude. I called Grant. So Grant actually worked with Doug George before I did. So like the first time I met Doug George and it was a possibility that he could be my crew chief, I called Grant and I was like, give me the download, man. The good, bad, the ugly. Tell me what you know about Doug George. And he had nothing but good things to say about Doug. And for me to get that from Grant, like a veteran in our sport that's worked with a ton of crew chiefs, gave me all the confidence in the world in Doug and his ability. And good for Grant, man. I mean, that championship in Phoenix was his to lose at the end of the race. And then, unfortunately, circumstances with, like 7 green-white checkers. Yeah. I don't even know how many they had.
But a few.
Yeah, it was a wreck fest there at the end, and it just, didn't turn out in his favor, which was unfortunate. But I've always been a big fan of Grant's, and he has a lot of experience. And when I was working with Josh Rayum a couple years ago, I leaned on Grant at the racetrack and asked him some questions. So I look forward to getting back to running full-time next year. I can maybe form a little better relationship with Grant and lean on him as a veteran in the series to kind of steer me in the right direction.
Yep. And Team Chevy, baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, CR7, they're doing big things too, man. They've had a handful of drivers over the past couple of years, but for them to sign Grant is going to raise the bar for them for sure, I believe. And they're going to see a whole new side of competition this year with Grant full-time. Well, for the next couple of years, because his was a multi-year deal too. So, again, congrats to Grant. That's awesome for him. Maybe he can get another pig now, so he'll have 2.
Yeah, 2 pigs. Well, moving up to Xfinity, this, again, crazy week with NASCAR news. JGR made their announcement, which I wasn't surprised entirely, but I really didn't think John Hunter would be sharing driving duties with Aric. Aric Almirola was not quite a shock. There was that leak from the Redskins, or what are they, Washington Nationals now, at that game.
Washington Nationals, that's the baseball team, dude.
What's the football team now?
Commanders.
The Commanders, all right. See, you can tell I'm a racing fan. I don't watch any stick and ball sports. But so Aric Almirola, that was leaked by somebody when Coach was introducing Christopher and him. But John Hunter, I was kind of shocked with. Was not expecting him to make like a shared ride with Aric. And then, you got the 19 that split with a bunch of guys.
Well, see, what shocked me the most about that deal was like I would say John Hunter, but I kind of figured that he would come back and still run some races. I just didn't know how many.
Gotcha.
I think the Grays joining Joe Gibbs kind of shocked me. I didn't see Tanner and Taylor. I used to be teammates with both of them, and they're both awesome people. And I enjoyed my time at DGR getting to run with them as teammates, but I didn't see that one coming at all. Chandler Smith, Sheldon Creed, I kind of already, everybody kind of already knew they were going to JGR.
Knew that was happening.
Yeah, so, I wasn't shocked at all. But Aric Almirola, I didn't see that happening either until the leak from the Commanders game. And so, good for Aric. He used to drive for Richard Petty Motorsports. He started at Joe Gibbs Racing, so kind of like a homecoming for him 20 years later. And I think he'll do good. He won, was that last year? He won Sonoma in the Xfinity car for Ryan Seacrest. Right. So he's definitely no slouch. Every time he ran Xfinity and when he was with Richard Petty Motorsports, he did a good job, and he always was a contender. So I think for him to get the opportunity to just have a little more relaxed schedule and go compete for wins is going to be a big opportunity for him to just have fun. And then for John Hunter, that'll just adding on to his resume. We all know he's a talented race car driver, and for him to continue. And the Williams Wallace one kind of caught me off guard too, because he ran, did he even run a full ARCA season? He ran the ARCA East.
Yeah, and then he won it. Was it Bristol?
I think he won a handful of ARCA races.
He won quite a few races.
But then he went and ran what? He ran good in the truck, the DGR truck, but I don't think he ran but 5 or 6 truck races. And then they announced that he's going to run the Xfinity car, and I'm sure he'll do good. Williams, smart kid. He gets it. He's fast. He's been with Gibbs for a while, so he has a relationship with those guys. And I'm sure he'll do a good job for sure. And then glad to see that Ryan Truex was back over there. I mean, his big win last year, I was like, man, he's got to get something, you know. And
I was very happy about that. And his home track, too. I was there when his brother won his first race at Dover. And they didn't grow up too far away. I came from New Jersey, as you know. And I used to go to Wall Stadium with my dad, and I watched the Truexes run a lot of races up there. And then what we got, SVG, that big announcement, going to Trackhouse and Colleague Racing in the 97 full Xfinity ride. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either, because when he said he was going to run, like, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, he's like somewhere in between 30 and 40 races. I was like, man, he's going to be driving like late models, and he's going to be driving everything. And when they came out with that, I was like, man, I can't wait to watch the road course races, because the Allmendinger's back, Xfinity, full-time, and SVG, Xfinity, full-time. So those two are going to be fun to watch for sure. And then, I mean, Sam Mayer this year on the road courses, what he did, he was really talented. So watch those guys mix it up on the road courses is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, the Xfinity field is becoming more and more stacked, I believe, with talent. And I think SVG will do good. I mean, obviously he came over here and ran good at Chicago, and I think the race that he ran, the truck, he did a nice job.
Yeah, and I was there for that. That was the first time I met Cody and Lane, actually.
So, I mean, he kept it clean. He ran top 20. I mean, he did everything he was supposed to do for his first start. So I would see... for SVG, I would see like the ovals kind of going more that way, a lot of learning and stuff. And then I just saw earlier they announced he's going to run the ARCA race at Daytona so he can get approved to run Xfinity full-time. So I expect him to be a contender for sure in the Xfinity series next year. And
he's like Marcos Ambrose, 2.0. So excited about that. Now, the news I'm most excited about, besides yours obviously, is my boy Noah Gragson getting a full-time Cup ride at Stewart-Haas Racing. So big congrats to them. You and Noah know each other pretty well.
Yeah, we're buddies. Yeah, me and Noah, I think we met each other like 3 or 4 years ago in Daytona. And we kind of formed a relationship, and we've hung out definitely outside of racing several times. And Noah I would consider a pretty good friend. And, man, he's been through a lot, you know, and the last, 6 months or so. Yep. And it's never easy for sure. And for him to get this opportunity is awesome. I mean, like, I'm so happy for him to go to an organization like Stewart-Haas where there's so much potential for growth. And his deal was also a multi-year deal. So for him to not just get a 1 year to perform, I think that, like, that opportunity is really good too, because it's so hard to compete, like, at the Cup level in general. And when you just throw somebody in there and expect them to, like, perform right off the bat, it's really unheard of. Those guys are all so good. I mean, it's your 40 best stock car drivers in the world at the Cup level. So to get that opportunity for Noah is a really cool opportunity, and hopefully he goes out and shows them what he can do and what I know he can do and what everybody knows he can do.
I just love the SHR lineup. I've met each one of those guys. They're the nicest, most down-to-earth people, and I think Tony did a really good job. The only thing they're up against is, you know, sponsorship. They lost Busch Beer. Ross is getting that sponsor, and no sponsors announced for Noah just yet. So we'll see what happens. But
you're just saying that because you're a Tony Stewart fan.
Yeah. As you are too.
I like his lineup, dude. I mean, Josh Berry coming in.
I love that. Yeah.
I love it. I mean, Josh. I raced late models with Josh. Josh was really, really good late model racer. I never Xfinity raced against Josh, but he's definitely got a ton of talent, you know. And then Briscoe, watched what he did. Everybody knows he's full of talent. And Ryan Preece, also proven short track guy.
Yep.
You know, I mean, wins modified races left and right and coming up through. And then you got Noah now, new kid on the block in the 10 car. I think he went from like Aric Almirola and Kevin Harvick, like a bunch of veterans, you know, to like some I would almost consider like your Ryan Preece's and your Josh Berry's like veterans of the short track racing.
Oh,
like,
for
because
sure.
they've been doing that forever.
Yeah.
And they have a ton of experience at that kind of stuff. And, I mean, both of them have proven that they can win races at that level. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see SHR rack up some wins next year.
I sure hope so. Well, congrats to Noah. Really, really proud of the fact that he secured a ride for next year. So good on him. So we're approaching the holiday season. We're less than what? A week or two away? So to getting back to the level cross aspect, family, faith, tradition, all that good stuff, I want to tell the folks at home some really funny or cool holiday stories that you can share, an inside perspective that maybe a lot of people don't know. So do you have any fun holiday
What
stories
is
to share?
Christmas like with Richard Petty is what you're asking.
Yeah, take the curtain away and tell us a story.
Christmas with the Petty family is, there's not a word to describe it, but it is crazy. We are up to, I think last time we counted, like 42 members between great-grandchildren, grandchildren, grandparents, and then the kids, of course, Kyle, Sharon, Lisa, and Rebecca. So for us, I mean, 42 people in one house is insane. So we all go to Grandpa's, we eat lunch, we do presents and all that. Something funny about Grandpa that you will find at family Christmas is, like, with 42 people in his house, he has these hearing aids, and we're too loud. The Petty family generally speaks, like, way too loud, and so he'll just take his hearing aids out so he doesn't have to listen to anybody. And for the rest of the day, he'll just shake his head at you and say, "Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy."
Does he wear sunglasses?
No, he doesn't. So no sunglasses, no hat,
No hat.
no boots. He don't wear boots in the house.
What?
But,
What does he wear?
His
Sneakers?
his shirt, his socks. He has like these copper fit socks that he wears.
Okay.
And his shirt and his jeans, and he still keeps his belt buckle on.
Okay.
But it's definitely entertaining for sure, Petty family Christmas. I mean, you've got, with the great-grandchildren now, we have like, I don't even know how many of them are under 5 or under 10 years old. So it's like kids running around everywhere. And then there's kind of like my age group, like the 20 to 30 age group, where we're all kind of chill and just kind of having casual conversation. And then you have Grandpa over there. Something else we do is, like, he has like TVs in his living room. And so all the men will just like sit in the living room and watch football and hang out. And we really don't even talk to each other because there's so much going on.
I think most families in America are like that. Most of the guys just go into one room and they don't talk. It's like a guy code.
It's like peace and quiet for like X amount of time.
And the women are usually cooking or talking in the other room.
Well, our family's grown so much that we actually cater. We cater.
Oh, man.
So Thanksgiving, we still cook. But like last year, we had like Chick-fil-A stuff.
Chick-fil-A for
and
your
like
Christmas party?
Olive Garden the year before.
What?
Yeah, dude. For 42
Olive Garden
people.
caters?
Yeah.
God, you're shattering so many. Like, I don't know. Not shattering. You're blowing my mind right now. I mean, you said your grandpa don't wear his boots or sunglasses.
So after family Christmas is when it really got interesting. You know? So he used to own this place out in Wyoming where we would go, and I think we slept as many as 30 people like in this house. And so we would all go out there as a family, and it was like Petty family vacation. We would go most of the time, leave the 26th or 27th and stay through New Year's, probably till the 3rd or 4th. And Grandpa would never ride like snowmobiles, but we would all ride like snowmobiles. And so one day he decided that he was gonna ride the snowmobile. And so he wears like Richard Petty like stuff. I mean, he has like a leather outfit. It's like numbered up with the 43 on it. You know, he looks like a real American badass.
Is he wearing his cowboy hat then?
No, he has a helmet on, dude. You gotta have a helmet on. Yeah, still the shades though. Still has the shades. So he'll like decided one day that he was going to ride this snowmobile or whatever. And so he gets to riding, and like there's no cell phone service. First off, the man doesn't even have a cell phone.
Yep.
But there's no cell phone service or anything. So he like gets stuck somewhere way up in the woods, like at least a mile from the house. And somehow or another, he makes it like all the way back, walks all the way back to the house. And he said that we had to go get his sled because it got so stuck that he couldn't get it out. So that was pretty entertaining. But I mean, like just being out there with the family, you could tell stories all day for like what went on out there. And we did like these family card games every night. You know, we play apples to apples and Rummy Cube. I'd never played Rummy Cube until I went out there and we started playing Rummy Cube quite a bit. And man, we played every card game known to man. Uno. We would do dominoes. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun to just be out there and like no cell service, like just you and your family for like how long did I say? 10 days. Most of the time 7 to 10 days. So
you guys have any traditions?
Traditions. Yeah. We take pictures a lot.
Yeah, I heard that this morning.
Yeah, so we have family pictures. Well, because we add so many new family members. I mean, there's 12 grandchildren, and all the grandchildren, I'm the next to youngest. My youngest brother is the youngest grandchild. So I'm 23. Every grandchild's kind of in the age where they're having kids or they've already had kids. So we add new family members every Christmas. And so with that being said, I mean, we have to take a new picture every Christmas. So we have
Petty. You have a crazy Christmas card, man. You guys ever send those? Are they like booklets?
Yeah. We usually get something pretty cool from Grandpa for Christmas too. Like, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, he like made like 40 copies or whatever of my grandmother's cookbook.
Oh,
and he made it into like a hard copy book, and he gave all of us like my grandma's cookbook. And so it was like really cool. I displayed it in my kitchen because grandma was obviously a big part of my childhood and a big part of everything Petty up until 2014 when we lost her. But just cool stuff like that. I mean, I got more Richard Petty stuff from Richard Petty for Christmas than anything, you know, like the gun and knife set. That's all Richard Petty. It's pretty cool.
Did you get a Red Ryder at any point in your life?
No Red Ryder. But we all got cowboy hats a couple of years ago. Okay. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. He did put his cowboy hat on for a picture with all of us with cowboy hats on. So all the grandchildren got cowboy hats, and mine's displayed in my room in a shadow box. But family holidays with the Petty family are usually pretty hectic.
What do you get for your grandpa? Do you get him a gift? Because if
how do you buy a gift for Richard Petty, dude?
I can tell you, I have the answer, especially for this year. I know the perfect gift you can give him.
What?
One of your Thad Moffitt Christmas ornaments, now available at PettyGarage.com. So check out that when you get a chance.
He already has one.
He has one of your ornaments?
Yeah, he took one.
Gosh, they've been selling like hotcakes, man.
Yeah, he took it. He took an ornament. Him and Uncle Kyle both have an ornament. What they did with it, I don't know. Mom said Kyle put his in his pocket when he got it. And there's no telling. Grandpa's just probably like in his car somewhere or something. But they did both get Thad Moffitt ornaments. But like, I don't know what I would even get for my grandpa. Like, he wants this year I'm going to get him a Buzz e-bike.
You know, I saw him looking at that the other day, and I think he's hooked. I think he wants something like a custom tricycle, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get him a trike because he's 86. I mean, he really doesn't need to be riding a two-wheel one, you know. So I'm going to get him what he wants, just with 3 wheels.
He's going to get it painted blue.
Probably.
You know that. That's definitely happening. So, Boyd, get ready. Boyd's our painter, everybody, at the garage. All right, well, that was fun. So, yeah, we are, I guess, hopefully we're going to have a guest on. We were supposed to have a guest this week, but they had better things to do, I guess, right?
It's a busy time.
I know.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
We're working on it, though. We do have a good guest lineup, and when everybody gets kind of settled back in, we will definitely have some good guests on here that you guys would enjoy listening to.
All right. Well, with that said, hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season, and thanks for listening.
Pristine Auction is the most trusted sports memorabilia and collectibles auction site. Auctions on pristineauction.com start at just $1, and each day, thousands of signed items are available, so you can win signed authentic items at affordable prices. Every item on pristineauction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators.
PristineAuction.com is your one-stop shop for authentic signed die-cast, helmets, trading cards, photos, and so much more of your favorite drivers. I've got my eye on some of John Andretti's stuff on PristineAuction.com now. What about you, Rowland?
I'm actually looking at a 1959 Daytona 500 inaugural ticket, that race that, your great-grandfather won. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I want to put that in my collection possibly and put my bid in today.
That would be something cool to add to the collection for sure. Well, upgrade your collection today and get $10 off your first win with registration code THAD. Again, that's registration code THAD for $10 off your first order. Links are in the show notes.